We're upside down.
You good?
Yeah.
Hi guys, I am Dr. Raj Gupta and I have two amazing people with me on GuruCool Academy podcast, and we are going live on Instagram today. This is the first time we're doing it, so let's meet our co-host Farrell and Preston.
Hey everyone, Farrell
Great
here.
evening.
Another fine day to be alive. Happy to be here along with Mr. Dr. Gupta and Preston.
And of course, it's Friday. Friday.
Thanks God it's Friday. So GuruCool Academy podcast, we also call it GAP, and the purpose of this is to bring just happiness, awareness, and try to find or try to connect with other people and see how we can eliminate suffering, how can we become happy, and just how can we connect with each other. So Farrell, what's the topic for today?
Glad you asked. So we're going to step into the unknown today, as the topic is stepping into the unknown. And all that means is we're going to talk about when you break through the shell of what you're used to and doing something different, you can really move levels in your life and experience newfound things by just taking that first step into the unknown. It's just like when the first man walked on the moon, Neil Armstrong. One step for man, one other great leap for humanity. And I'm paraphrasing, but I think it sounds good when you say it like that, because you take that first step and you're in new waters, new terrain.
That's amazing. And by the way, viewers, if you have any question, please feel free to ask the question. We are all live here today. So, Farrell, do you mean by like leaving your comfort zone? Is that what you mean by this topic?
That's part of it. I think what I mean total is that we're used to doing the same things over and over, or we're used to staying in our little bubble. And so stepping out of our comfort zone is half of it, but I think the other half is just not just stepping out of your comfort zone, but just being open to do it, because everything starts with thinking and how you talk. And so it's not just simple snap, I'm going to jump out of my comfort zone. You got to tell yourself I'm okay with it. Once your mind is on the level, then the physical happens from the cognitive.
Very interesting. What do you think, Preston?
I don't know. I'm telling you, I have a very unique perspective on this particular topic because I am a person who was never given the space to develop a bubble or a comfort zone. I think throughout my formative years, I did not attend any school longer than 2 years. So every 2 years, I was changing schools, changing states, had to make all new friends. And so me personally, I am extremely comfortable with any kind of newness at all. And this is a good topic for me because I'm also one who doesn't understand people's reticence to newness. Like, I'm like, dude, jump in. And they're like, hey, I'm not really sure. I'm like, why? Because you're never going to be sure until you jump in there. So just jump. And I'm that type of guy. Like, if you say go do it, and I'm like, I don't know how, I'm going to figure it out. On the way, let's watch a YouTube video. Let me call a few friends. Hey, have you done this before? You haven't? Okay, let's make it up as we go along. And I just don't have any kind of real fear in that area. So help me understand.
Yeah, I think that's great. And I think a good quote that kind of sums up what you're saying. And, I love to bring the movies into this. So, in the movie Man of Steel, Superman, he's sitting in a church, and he's talking to someone there to give him some guidance. He's watching the news, and this villain who's coming down asks him to reveal himself and to turn himself over to his own kind so that he can help them accomplish what they're doing. And so, the person he's talking to, he asks him, he's like, what should I do? Earth is my home, but I come from Krypton. What should I do? And what his friend who he was talking to said is, take a leap of faith. The trust comes later. And I think that's very important because sometimes you gotta jump before you walk. And you just, take that leap of faith and worry about the rest later, because in the time you took to think about whether you should do it or not, you may have, just like that, lost your moment.
Yep.
And we can't rewind. So all we can do is just jump in, like you're saying, Preston, and worry about stuff later because life is too short.
So I think I believe that in of every aspect or every thought or everything that we see in our life, there are different perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
Someone can say, don't just jump in, just think about it before you do that, because everything could be seen as good, bad, or neutral. That's how I believe in.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the book that I've written, The Briefcase Life, Carry What Matters the Most. My main principle in that is perception is your reality. How you perceive something, that becomes your reality. So I think when we talk about stepping into the unknown, what prevents us or what makes us do that?
What prevents us from stepping in?
Yeah.
So I think, and you can touch on this too, Preston. I think it has to do with the cognitive again, because our brain wants to take a step back where our body wants to go in, and so it's easy to just, some people are hardwired this way. It's easy for them just to let's go, but other people, if they're very logical or they think a lot, and I'm speaking from experience, our brain will take a step back and force us to just keep thinking in a circle until we've lost the moment, and it's an easy way to back off, where sometimes you have to fight your own self-talk and self-thought, turn your brain off, and just go in. Just don't think about it. Just go in. I think it's just, you got to learn how to shut your brain off, and that's really hard to do. I know that from experience, but sometimes you just got to fight yourself, and that's what a lot of life is. It's just it's a battle with yourself.
That's very true.
See, I think I'm on the extreme opposite side of that spectrum, because like where people would say, okay, maybe I don't want to try this for all of these reasons. I'm more on the other side saying, why do I want to keep this? And there's all these other options. I need to try all of these flavors. Like Baskin Robbins, you don't want me in Baskin Robbins. Why? Because those little cups, there, how many 30 what flavors? I want to try this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. I'll be there all day. Everybody in line will be mad at me. I'm not, even if you told me, I think you're allergic to this one, Preston. Let me find out myself. Thanks. Like, I want to know. I'm naturally inquisitive. I'm uber, like, for meeting new people, making new friends. I'm the person who's going to talk when nobody else is talking. I was the kid in the back, like, anybody have a question? Anybody have anything to say? I'll raise my hand. Like, I've always been that guy. But I've met a lot of people who are like, this is new. I don't know about this. I'm not going to take your experience or your advice or whatever it is that you might have gone through and personalize that enough that I want to try it. That's okay. No. And that always confuses me, because I think in my head, that means closed-minded. And that I know that that's not always true, but that's how I interpret that.
I think life is kind of is strange. And one of the quotation I have in this book is, look for simplicity in this complex life, not the complexity in this simple life. So it depends on how you really look at life. And even with this, and as I said, perspective, there are a lot of things which are new that we don't want to try. But there are a lot of things which are new that we want to try and we want to get. Like if you have this new job, you become very comfortable with where you are.
Complacency.
Yeah.
That too.
A relationship, you could be comfortable, but you may be suffering, but you don't want to get out of that relationship just because that comfort or complacency, you say. So I think it's a different perspective, different thing about stepping into the unknown. So, but I think if you listen to your heart, and if that tells you to jump in, then I think you should definitely jump in.
Yeah, and this is going to be pretty funny, but to quote that in the movie we all know, and it was based on a show, Lost in Space, when
Yeah, I
Will
like that
Robinson is trying to convince the robot to turn to his side and help his family. He says to the robot, think with your heart, not with your brain. And I think that's a
And you're
very...
talking to something that absolutely doesn't have a heart, so that makes it even more poignant.
Yeah, yeah.
And actually, I have a quote on that too. That have a intelligent heart and a passionate mind.
I like that.
You know, your mind has to be passionate, and it should be just like your heart. But at the same time, your heart should be intelligent, because if your heart is full, then you can make a lot of mistakes and you can suffer out of those mistakes.
I
Yeah.
agree.
And I think really, if you're getting anything from this as we close out, just remember when you get up in the morning, you know, you get dressed, you have your breakfast, walk out that door, and when you close that door, leave all that thinking. You know, thinking is good, but leave a lot of that when you close the door. Just go into your morning and say, hey, I'm going to go through life today, and whatever comes at me, comes at me. I'm not going to analyze everything. I'm just going to go with the flow. Try that and see what happens, because there's a lot of world out there, and I think we should all do our due diligence to explore it. I mean, now might be a little difficult, but it doesn't necessarily mean physically. Maybe it's just being observant or saying hi to someone new each day. Remember, there's tons of people out there, and you don't know what their story is until you ask them.
This is very true. And it ties in with a lot of our other topics and a lot of our coming topics that, just being mindful of the things that support you best and being mindful that you need to put down yesterday and leave tomorrow on a shelf and be present in today, this moment. What's best for you right now? And if something new really isn't best for you, then maybe you made a great decision to avoid it. But sometimes we miss great opportunities just out of fear.
And I agree with all that. I also say about future, two things are very important: anticipation and vigilance. Always think about, what may happen, and that could depend on your past experience. And at the same time, don't hesitate to do anything just because something bad happened in the past. So be vigilant. Just look around if there's something similar is happening or something bad may happen. But don't be afraid of trying something new, getting into a new thing, and or getting out of something bad. Whether it's a relationship or any situation. So be aware. Gautam Buddha always says, be aware, be your own light, um, and do no harm. Live with other people, and especially, the environment we are living in right now. I think we need each other's support, we need each other's love and care.
This
So,
is true.
Yeah.
ending here, GuruCool Academy podcast. Next time we'll come with a new, different thought. Come join us whenever we are here. Thank you so much, Farrell. Thank you, Preston.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Thank you for watching us.
And don't forget, if you're looking to follow us on Facebook and Instagram, it's GuruCool Academy, as well as on YouTube. And anywhere that podcasts are available, type in GuruCool Academy. This will be uploaded there as well. And my last thing that I'll tell you all, I want to say VCR, but I don't know if a lot of people are going to know that. So I'll simply say, treat your life like a movie. Don't press the rewind button. Don't press the fast forward button. Just keep pressing on play.
You know what just came to my mind, guys? This is the time of year where a lot of people suffer from depression, and it just ties in with the unknown that we're talking about. Just please remember, somebody somewhere cares about you, and you just need to let people know you need help. You're never alone. And if you need us, we'll listen. Give us a call.
Yes. Thank you so much for watching. And Farrell actually initiated that I want to tell my favorite quote that is in the book also. Life is like a movie. There's going to be good scenes and bad scenes. But in the end, what matters is the entertainment of the experiences you will have in your life. So enjoy life. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.
Yay!